Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a collective or general reading, which means that parts of it may or may not resonate with you. Just take what works for you and leave the rest. This is Tattletales from Tales from the Vector. And thank you so much for showing up. Also, thank you for your likes, your comments, and your subscribes. I really do appreciate it as it's helping me to build my channel. I've already shuffled the cards, but I'm going to give them one more cut here. And here we go. We're going to take the card off the bottom of the deck. And we have the Star. So that's cool. This is the underlying energy for this reading. And the Star card is from the Major Arcana, and she is born to shine. So she is dipping her foot into the universe, like into the pool of knowledge of the universe. And she is collecting water from that, and then she has two vessels. She's pouring back and forth, one on the earth and one into the universal waters. And that's just representing bringing whatever is out in the universe down to earth. And we have, here we just going to double check that I have that positioned correctly. This is the Six of Cups. So the Six of Cups is reconciliation. It can be about a reunion. This card quite often represents forgiveness also. The thing is, forgiveness is for yourself, and forgiveness it paves the path for reconciliation, but you don't, just because you forgive someone doesn't mean you have to reconcile with them. This card usually means that there is a reunion of some sort. And sometimes this card, because this card has a lot of different illusions in it. These appear to be two young children playing in the yard, but one is actually an old woman and the other one is a dwarf. And this is also the only card in the out of all the cups that has flowers growing in it. And the flower is datra, and it's a medicinal herb. So this is basically speaking about healing energy. So that's kind of a nice way to start it off. And we have Judgment. So Judgment is also Major Arcana, and it is it can be judgment that you have within yourself, or it can be judgment from God the Most High, and the universe, or it could be judgment in the 3D world. It can have all those meanings also. There are three people coming out of these dark boxes, and quite often this can represent Pandora's box opening, like something comes up, something comes out. A hidden element comes out, and that's kind of what this is saying, is that it's something that it almost feels like something that the universe is making everyone aware of. And in the background you can see that there's three people also waving to them, so it's almost like a mirror reflection of itself. And what this sometimes also means is that these are the ancestors and descendants communicating with each other across the veil. And we have the Three of Swords. So the Three of Swords, it's a scary looking card at first when you see it. It talks about, there's three swords in the heart, which kind of speaks for itself. But when you really look at it more closely, you realize those swords are very small compared to the heart. So this is saying is something that you can heal from. And I find this card really interesting because in the background, it almost looks like cliffs and then a cloud. But it also looks like this could be shoulders and the throat and the nose here of someone's profile. So this also for me means being able to speak truth. And so that kind of makes sense coming after the Judgment card. And maybe speaking, maybe there is something here about forgiving. And then we have the King of Wands. So the King of Wands is sitting on his throne, and he's this energy he has of the wand. The wand is made of wood because it represents both the ancestors, because like it's a tree that has roots and also has shoots for the descendants. It feels, and he's looking this way at this reconciliation and forgiveness happening. So this is, it could be even something like two bloodlines forgiving each other, or one family forgiving another family, or even a country forgiving another country, something like that. It's kind of an interesting start to a reading. And then we have the World card. So with the World card here, this is speaking about the end of a cycle, because this card is also from the Major Arcana, and the World is the last card in the Major Arcana. It's card number 21, and that represents the end of a cycle. Something new, like a new way is going to start, and it feels like this could be something global that's happening, just because we do have the World card here, and we have like this judgment right off the bat with this this card that also speaks of universal energy, because the star is like really Aquarian energy, like the age of Aquarius. So interesting. We also have the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands, this comes in as a gift from God. And what this card, any of the aces show that there's a new start. So it definitely feels like there was some sort of reconciliation after judgment came in, and this is good, people were able to speak over it and come to some sort of resolution. And the Ace of Wands is a gift from the universe. It's a gift from God. And it feels like it's a gift for both the ancestors and the descendants. So something for a lot, it's not just like for one person, it's for more than one person. And then we have the Five of Wands. And so this card is about competition, and it can sometimes be like a card that it shows that there's a lack of maturity about competition, that these are adolescents and they're kind of duking it out, and one of them is just kind of observing. This card can be something like gossip in the community, or like big news, like news is spreading about something here, and it shows that there was some sort of competition involved, and there was some action taken. This can also talk about slander or gossip, that kind of energy. So it going back to here, the reconciliation, the forgiveness. So we'll see. So because this bottom, I'm building a pyramid here, and this bottom line is actually the basic needs to be able to manifest what you want. And the underlying energy is very positive energy. It's universal love, basically. And so that's what we're working with. Quite a big message, I guess. And then we have the King of Swords. So we're moving into this row of, okay, if we're going to manifest this peace or whatever this is here, how are we going to do it? What obstacles are we going to have to overcome? And how will we overcome them? And the King of Swords is sitting on his throne. And the king has, he's well known for being a very good orator, and is able to move people with his words. Like he's very powerful in that way. He doesn't resort to using fists in that fight. The swords are double-edged swords that represent an ability to be able to use your intellect and also have mastery over your mind. And so he's sitting on his throne, and I'm just noticing like the clouds very similar to this. So this energy could be this King of Swords is the one who's making a judgment. And the King of Swords, like on a big scale, could represent like an authority figure in government, or, you know, an actual king or a leader of a country. And, you know, and as we bring that down into the collective, it can also represent someone who's the head of the family, or the head of a corporation, or that, you know, that kind of energy. And because the King of Swords is very much aware that action speaks louder than words, and perhaps something was agreed upon and now it was done with words, but now the contract or whatever was broken, and this has to be looked into. There's judgment here. And we have that's kind of what's coming. This is the Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands is, it's a very positive card also. This is about conception. It means that someone has fired those wands and thrown them, and they are landing like in perfect order when they do land. The energy is that we're moving this way. So I feel like whatever action was maybe taken here is this action having gone into being. And perhaps that's what this is all about. And because that is sitting right on the world and on this gift of discovery of a new way of doing things, like that type of energy. And then we have, this card has been coming up a lot. And this card is the Four of Pentacles. Is not the most exciting card when it comes to Pentacles. It sometimes can really represent someone who's been selling themselves short, not really like holding on to their money and their wealth for, like for safety reasons. And because what this card represents is the 3 levels of abundance, and this is like safe money. This is what your heart's desires, and then the crowning glory. So it has something to do with like a foundation. And recognize we have 2 kings out here. These kings are archetypes, so they can represent a male or a female in their masculine energy. And you notice here we have like this king is holding the wand, and this king is, I feel, making the judgment. Like there was something that happened here. Perhaps sometimes this can also be one person and different aspects of one person fighting against each other. Like one part of you wants to take action, and the other part of you wants to think about it some more. So that it's kind of there is a foundation here of that a judgment is being made, and that judgment is going to happen. Yeah, and then we have the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups, okay, so the Nine of Cups is like, the card before it, the 10 of Cups, which is the most cups that you can have. And cups in tarot, they are representing your heart's desires, what you love, someone you love, a cup of love, or like who you love to be or what you love to do. And it feels like the thing about this card is that his energy, you can see just the way he's sitting, his legs are open, but his arms are crossed. And this energy just feels like he's on a stage. And what I'm asking are the cups right above his head, or are they behind him? Like, so is this something that happened like in the past, and now he's being put, on stage for everybody to see what happened here? or is this just happening now? With tarot, there really there's the past, present, and future. It can be any of these. So this could be something that has happened, is happening right now, or is about to happen. So just take it how that works for you. But whenever someone, in body language, when someone sits or stands with their toes pointed outward like that, it means that they're leaking energy. So this card basically means to stay very focused and be able to, because this is a wishing card. And the problem with wishing is, if you're wishing for something, you don't have it. And so he's highly favored because he's got the 9 cups already. But it's like he has to stay focused to be able to bring this in, whatever this is, whatever this action is or this judgment is. It's kind of like the final step of something that's been agreed upon. And so energy flows where your attention goes, and many a race is lost in the last lap. And so this card is saying, you know, you've done really well. The odds are in your favor. However, you want to make sure that you maintain your focus and don't get distracted so that you can bring it in, bring the result in. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest knight in the deck. And the Knight of Pentacles represents communication. And it's sitting right on this, you know, heart with the swords in it, in the throat. So perhaps something was said or something wasn't said, or there was something that was said and the action didn't carry through. There was a promise made and then it wasn't kept. That's the kind of the energy I'm getting. And this King of Swords might be saying, look, we agreed upon this, and now you need to fulfill it. Like, it's that kind of energy. And if this is regarding like just a single person and this is an inner battle, it could be, I promised myself I was going to do this, and you know, it's time. It's been, 'cause this is short. This card can show someone that is procrastinating a little bit. And a lot of times when you're procrastinating, it's because you know, you don't want to have a board meeting with yourself to make every decision. You know, and this card sort of represents like slow energy. His horse is at a standstill and he's overlooking the fields here, and he's trying to make a choice, make a decision. And he, you know, he needs to make it, like it's time now, because this card can also represent bringing in the message, but now it's too late. So I'm just getting a feeling that if this is more than one person involved, that it might be a disagreement about money, you know, a contract or something like that, that, you know, the job is almost complete and this person has paid for it and is saying, you know, complete the project and, you know, something like that. Or I'm also getting, it could be that these people made a hand, you know, shook their hands on an agreement, and now the paperwork is here and he's being slow to sign it or something like that. Yeah, because then the devil energy comes in. And so the devil is sitting right on the judgment and the reconciliation. So it's almost like there's an energy here of there was some sort of reconciliation, but now it's on the line, you know. Something needs to be resolved here, and that could be once again between countries. It could be between people and business. It could be in a relationship. It could be also within one person. When the devil comes up, I always cover the devil, because you're not going to get the truth from the devil. You know? And I cover it to see, okay, who did the devil send in to do his dirty work, or who did God send in to make sure this contract or this promise is kept? And because we have the Ace of Wands here, which is a gift from God and the universe. And this started off as like universal energy. It feels like the Hierophant is coming in. The Hierophant is like structure, it's order, like in the 3D it would be structure and order. But the Hierophant also is a spiritual authority, and that's why there's these two monks here. And they have their head shaved in tenure. That is so that, they shave the top of their heads so that they can intuitively really tune into Spirit, to the Holy Spirit, and gather the information, and so that they can make correct judgment. And that's sitting on the reconciliation and the judgment. So I feel like this could be something somewhat of a this could be a spiritual battle someone is feeling. Maybe they made an agreement and now they are tempted to run off with the goods and not pay for it. Or there was a reconciliation and then some sort of action took place that caused a disruption in and now the forgiveness isn't, as steady as it was, something like that. And it can also be, I'm just getting this sense also of an inner struggle in one person of, their spiritual side and their 3D, like the 5D and the 3D. Reconciling that energy, because this card quite often also represents reconciliation with your childhood energy, and we do have a lot of ancestor and descended energy with the wands coming in here around, this gift. So to be able to manifest this, we have to. This is okay. This is what's needed, like at the basic level, and these are the obstacles. So, and it's interesting also right now when I think of this, that Mercury is in retrograde right now, which just means that when we see the planet Mercury from the viewpoint of Earth, it appears to be going backwards, and it's famous for causing miscommunication or slow communication. Having said that, it's also a lot of people give Mercury a bad rap when it goes retrograde or when planets go retrograde in general. But it's basically saying in a lot of ways too, there's a time to take action and there's a time to, really meditate or really, maybe reread things, make sure that if it's a contract, that the document is solid, and there's some energy of that here, because the 8 of Swords represents someone that's in a mental prison. Quite often, it can be a mental prison of their own making, because, like as you can see here, she has the ability, like she could just walk away. She doesn't have to stay with these swords, but she's blindfolded and it's like she's bound. And so quite often this card can represent someone who's duty bound or feels that they're duty bound. And just they've created this battle within themselves, that it's a mental battle that they're in. And that kind of, because the King of Wands will cut through that kind of energy. So we'll see some more. Okay, yes, there's some juggling happening here. The Two of Pentacles is juggling, the two coins, and they're in the sign of the infinity symbol. So this represents an ability to be able to manifest, and someone who's very busy multitasking and, juggling things. So this card basically says, juggle your options, but don't juggle your morals. And it's just kind of an energy also of, you'll notice in the background, the emotion, the waves represent emotion and also forward movement, momentum. And it's a smaller ship in the background, and then there's a bigger one here. So that can be a sign that this has been going on long enough now that something needs to be done. Like you have to come to a decision here, and you have to, you know, speak it out loud and bring it into being. So it could be someone that made a choice and now they're still in this mental thought, you know, like, is this, I want to make sure before I take the final action that, you know, what we started here, that that I'm doing the right thing. So there's just a little bit of mental back and forth, yeah, because this then comes in the Seven of Wands, which is conviction beyond a doubt. So I feel like because the King of Wands is holding this wand here on his throne, and he's looking back at this reconciliation, he is now making a decision one way or the other, no matter how things seem, that he's going to take action on his conviction, and he's going to do it without a doubt. You can see here, he wants to take action. He's like geared for action, but he's been deciding, and now here we have it. Conviction beyond a doubt. It's time to move forward. Yeah, you know, these wands have, like, this is the Seven of Wands, and 6 of them have been planted, and he's holding the 7th, and possibly the 8th wand is the last one that needs to be, the last action that needs to be taken to be able to turn this 9 of Cups into an 8 of Cups, or into a 10 of Cups. And this card is like a win for it's something that you do, it's a win for you, it's a win for your family, your country, whatever, and it's a win for the universe also. And then we have the Page of Swords. So yes, so some decision has been made here, and the Page of Swords is now, they're a messenger also, just like the Knights. And this energy is about innovation, and it's about being able to use your mental capacity and also your intuition. And one thing I really like about this card also is you see how the ground is moving under his feet, almost like here. So this is, okay, this person has come to a decision, and they're not looking at the sword anymore. They're looking, basically he's looking on this decision he made now. So I'm just getting, okay, now the decision has been made, and that is sitting on this, you know, strong foundation where he's not going to sell himself short, get that 8th wand by taking action now and letting go of this energy. Yeah. And so the energy is this or that, being able to get out of this place where there's only one way or two ways of doing things, and recognizing that I'm getting this is this is representing the two ways that can be seen, but using your intuition to be more in and ignoring these two ways and finding a third way that is innovative, and because here he's not looking at the sword either. And this is right above the Ace of Wands, taking action from the universe, giving this gift of a passion for discovery. And yeah, and then we have, for the heart's desires, the 10 of Swords coming in. So this is, you know, stabbed in the back, left for unalive, and really looking, it's interesting because looking off into the shore. Having said that, his hand is in the form of a blessing, just like the Hierophant here, and wearing like the same, you know, kind of red with this. So this card also represents the end of a cycle, and it's sitting on the action here of conception. and the gift and the World card. I feel like this may represent the end of a cycle of this mental back and forth. And now whatever judgment came in here and the Hierophant came in, the Hierophant must have said, you know, make a decision. You have to make a decision and you have to end this. Everybody's waiting for your decision kind of thing. You have to quit juggling your options in that. You have to stand on your conviction and, you know, quit going back and forth and stop like the mental activity here and take action now. So we'll see to be able to access this. And then what we have here is this card of the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups is a card where someone's done. So they're done with this. They're done with this concern over it. They've made it, this is okay. They are ready. They've made a decision. Now the decision could be, okay, there's like, there's 7 cups here and he's going to get the 8th cup. Or it could be that he's walking away from the whole deal and just done. And that he's going to go find a different cup somewhere else and he's not going to sign. So we'll see. We need to see now which of these choices has he made. But the choice is made. This indecision that was here has come to an end. It's the end of that cycle. And then we have rowing off to calmer waters. And this represents the rough waters and the calm waters. And it feels like he has walked away, that this person has made the decision to walk away from this. Interesting energy. Like the deal is broken. I really am getting that because this person is chosen to it's possibly not forgive, that the reconciliation didn't turn out, it didn't work out. Or if it's for a single person, that the reconciliation within a person, that they've decided that this energy here wasn't worth manifesting and they want to go and go to a distant shore, because there's a distant shore in this game, take a new path and row off to calmer waters. This was all just too much, is what's coming up. And then, yeah, we have the moon in here. Because, yeah, with that devil energy, it just feels like there was some sort of an illusion, something that was hidden in this reconciliation. And it's really interesting, too, because this Mercury retrograde energy is often a time when people from the past come in and their reasons may be hidden, you know, like there's 2 pillars here. And this energy is about, okay, are you know, if you're the fool on your journey, and it's a new journey, you want to make sure that you go straight. You know, you want to go through there. You've got the sun and the moon here. You've got the full moon, the sun, and the new moon energy. And this crab coming out of the water here feels like, okay, this that this energy is taking the armor off, like the shell off, and you know, wanting to move forward, but not necessarily in this energy anymore. That's really, yeah. And then we have the Fool off on a new journey. So yeah, this really feels like it could be something that's happening in the world right now. I haven't watched the news in the last couple days, really. So I don't know if there's been some big deal happening in the world there's always something happening, but maybe there was, you know, this is representing on more of a global scale. And it can also be an inner battle within someone. And quite often when this retrograde energy is around, this is the perfect time to reflect on, the past and not look at it with rose-colored glasses. Like if someone has already done you wrong and now they're appearing during this time, you have to wonder, okay, what do they really want? Like, is this, like, am I willing to, forgiveness is for yourself. Am I willing to forgive and then just, not have anything to do with this person again and risk this happening again? Or am I going to just move forward in a totally different way? And I feel like, that's what this energy is for. And retrograde energy is a great time for reflection in this way. So it's, so it's kind of like, okay, before making that move, you want to be really sure that you're not going to be repeating an old cycle, and just take the cup that you have here, which that could represent the action of walking away on a new journey. Wow, and then the Queen of Swords comes in. So the Queen of Swords is sitting on her throne, and notice how she's now facing this way. She's moving this way. And she is known for being one to cut through the bullshit. Her head is above the clouds, and she has clarity. And she has her left hand reaching out, which shows, okay, I'm willing to receive. However, you better come in straight. You better come in with honor and truth, or I'm not going to even begin to entertain what you have here. And also, when the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords show up together in a reading, and they're not really together, but they're in the same reading, it can indicate someone that's been divorced. And so on a smaller level, this could be about, maybe reconciling and wanting to make a marriage work out, and then it didn't work out, and it's just, I'm moving forward in this direction. And it's because we've also got the King of Wands facing this. You see how these two are like right on top of each other, and then we've got that conviction beyond a doubt, and he's facing this way and she's facing that way. So we'll see. And then we have another Knight coming in with communication. Yeah, I really feel like, okay, so this is the Knight of Cups. He's the knight in shining armor, and he's not in a real race or a hurry to come in. It feels like it's like continued movement from this, because he's not at a standstill anymore, but he's moving forward. And this cup can represent what he's moving forward with. And that could be like, okay, it's right sitting on this, walking away, and the end of this cycle. A new journey with the Fool, not willing to put up with any more bullshit, and having clarity and moving forward and saying, I'm willing to leave these cups behind and walk away with this cup and be who I am and do what I love to do, or perhaps love myself. And it can also mean forward movement with something I love, like that I want to do other than this. Yes, and the swords are now at rest. There's one laying here, and these three are hanging on the wall, and this person is meditating or in prayer. This is a card representing peace of mind, going inward and resting, like allowing allowing yourself to take advantage of this retrograde time. A lot of times, like I said, retrogrades get a bad rap, but there's a time for action and there's a time to rest. And sometimes we need to know the difference. It's reminded me of that serenity prayer, like, you know, let me know what I can control and what I cannot control, and be at peace with it within myself. Because on the stained glass window here is the word Pax, and that means peace. So this person is at peace with their decision of this 1 cup. Yeah. And then we have the King of Cups. Wow. So that's that third king coming out. So this third king, the King of Cups, is the one that is the most emotionally available. He's out in the middle of the water there, and he's sitting on his throne. He's on a, you know, there's water. He's surrounded by emotions. He's surrounded by, you know, movement and chaos possibly. But you see, he's got that cup, and he's steady. He has his right foot forward, so he is, if he has to take action, he will. But I'm just getting that this is representing someone that is satisfied with his decision, and he's just going to let it sit and rest for now and see where it goes. And isn't that interesting? Then we have 2 cups coming in. So this is quite often, this card represents soulmates. I feel in this particular reading, well, this could be taken several ways. This could be like 2 countries coming together, you know, if it was on a universal global scale. It could be this battle within one person, deciding, okay, am I going to reconcile with this person that hurt my feelings or, you know, did me damage in the past? Or am I going to go and in a new direction and, you know, just let it go and move forward? This card often represents soulmates. And quite often when this card comes up, it can mean that some karma was cleared. And the funny thing about karma is that when people clear karma, then all of a sudden the energy kind of falls away from it. So sometimes once the karma is cleared, people don't have any deep feeling of desire to work together anymore. And it's okay with both of them. So that could be a story about that. Let's start from the bottom and go up. This is the past, and then being on top, that energy, and coming back down again. So that we've got the reconciliation, the reunion, and then we have the energy of the Hierophant, which is also on a spiritual, but it's covering the devil, which is temptation. So it's sort of feeling like temptation to go back to a relationship or a situation or something like that. And then, but there was hidden elements, and those have been exposed. And now, see, and this, the moon represents freedom, in the way that if you can discipline your mind, you will have freedom. And then because of that, now the Fool's off on a new journey. And the King of Cups, it's basically doing and being in this energy of the King of Cups in control of the emotions around it and going for what is best. I feel like this is reconciliation with higher self energy, like the spiritual side of a person and the material side, or, you know, that type of energy. And then being at peace with the decision and going on this journey now, coming down, letting go of all of this energy, not knowing what to do, and back and forth in it. And now just cutting through it. Boom. That's it. I've made my decision. And this is about becoming able to be mature about the competition within yourself or with others around you. I'm going to clarify with these cards now which is, these cards represent my oracle, Tales from the Vector. This is an oracle that I began in 2007 and completed the paintings in 2020. And I have them numbered here. So in the description box below, I'll put the numbers down below so that you can go to talesfromthevector.com, TAILS, after this reading, and just look up the paintings if you want to get more information. And as I said, they'll be listed in the description box below in the order that they came up. So we've got this hangman on the on the star card. So that's really like about balance. And because the hangman, he hangs from the tree of knowledge upside down to gain a new perspective on things. And that allows the balance between like thinking and feeling and taking action and waiting, that kind of energy. And once he has been able to become enlightened by the tree of knowledge, he doesn't take action until then. So it's about having the balance, being able to come to terms with not just the action you take, but how you feel about it inside. And then we have the Aquarius energy, which is very intellectual and about experimentation. So being able to observe what's happening and then experiment. And perhaps that's kind of what was happening here, is that, someone maybe reconciled and then they met a few times and some of this old energy started creeping in, kind of feeling. And now, so it was an experiment, and now the experiment has been resolved either way. And this card has really been coming up a lot. Again, here it is again. And I wash my cards for like a good minute, both decks, and then shuffle, 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 cut, 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 shuffle, shuffle. So this blind spot energy has really been coming up a lot. And what it's saying is, it's a scotoma. A scotoma, we can have a scotoma in our physical eye, which we can't see little parts. It's very tiny. So most of us don't even notice it. But it also represents a blind spot in your emotions or in what's going on or in the knowledge that you have, like hidden elements that you're not aware of. And basically this energy says the rear view mirror is smaller than the windshield for good reason, which is saying like if you're going to travel forward, do so looking into the future, not reflecting on the past. I mean, you have to shoulder check and make sure, you don't get crashed from behind, which I feel like this person has done. So, and on a bigger scale, it could be like an agreement between two countries that fell through at the last minute or something like that. We have the Sagittarius energy on top of the King of Wands. That is, the wands represent fire. Sagittarius is fire element, and this Sagittarius is about going on different adventures, and those can be adventures in the mind. They can also be actual physical adventures. And the Sagittarius energy wants to expand versus contracting. So whenever we go backwards, like into the past, and we repeat, there is always that danger of contraction rather than expansion, which makes Sagittarius energy, like the fiery energy, feel very uncomfortable. And then we have the guiding star sitting on the conception, the gift, and the world. And so this energy feels like it could be something global as well as, individual, like a very personal thing that someone or some of you may be going through, or it could be between a couple that maybe is struggling with whether or not to get divorced or not. So guiding star is all about this crown chakra energy, like really going, the pentacles represent health, wealth, and happiness and fulfillment. So really going after the crowning glory instead of just playing it safe more. And like, this person is short for a reason. It's just saying, don't sell yourself short. And that's the energy I'm getting in. So it's good, especially at this time. That's what a retrograde energy is brilliant for, is really going inward and, just allowing yourself to come to peace with your decision before actually taking action on it. Yeah, and the surrender. So I really feel like this sitting on this card is just saying that there's a lot of energy behind this, like this energy here with the devil and the moon, the hidden elements, and the Hierophant coming in and all that. And when, this card can sometimes mean like a blessing in disguise, like the Hierophant's judgment has brought a blessing in disguise. So you're not going to repeat a cycle that you already ended, but you're going to move forward, and look at things from a new perspective. And the surrender is like that serenity prayer I was picking up, like, knowing when, it's not in your control. You can't control another person, and you can't control the entire universe for sure, but you can control your emotions and your actions so that you make really strong forward movement. And then we have, yes, the perception card. And this one also has been coming in a lot about really looking at things and thinking, oh, the grass is greener on the other side. I'm going to go over there. But something inside of you recognizes, oh, is that real grass or not? And so real grass can be green. However, it requires work. And so I'm just getting that to make this work would require a lot of energy. And it would be kind of like energy of, been there, done that kind of energy. Because it's sitting like right on this and that. On this card is this and that, right? It's only being able to see, okay, either I stay or I go, instead of seeing, okay, there's a third way. There's a bazillion ways. Just have to really get into your intuition to really go dig deep and find out within yourself what the answers are. Yeah, and the need to be right. So that's a karmic space. A lot of the time, we do need to be right at times, but a lot of the times people will do things because of like I'm right, and it's my way or the highway, and this is, I want to please everybody and do it this way. Or maybe I said I would do it, and now, even though it doesn't feel right anymore, and this happened and that happened, and I wasn't aware of this or that, and my intuition is saying, don't do it now. I feel like I have to because I said I would. That kind of energy is what's coming in. This inner struggle. And also, on a bigger scale, maybe something really did change, and now it isn't a good decision. It was, but now it isn't. So the retrograde was a good thing because it gave, it allowed things to move at a different tempo so that you would be able to make a real strong decision. And that doesn't mean that there's not some disappointment around it still, because it is disappointing if that is the energy. Having said that, the windshield is bigger for a reason. And this is devotion. Temperance card is also sitting on this. That's a Sagittarius energy also. So it's it's about devotion to the way that you feel inside that you need to be, like your devotion to being the best version of yourself, and this requires a lot of patience. And so this may have been like this energy of the Knight of Pentacles, and it being like moving so slow was actually for your benefit. And then we have the karmic space of anger. So the karmic spaces are energy that, basically we all as human beings get into, like we fall into these pits where we get into these common things where we can become really angry about something and then do something that we regret later. So having this temperance is a really desirable quality, and that's what the King of Cups. The King of Cups is someone who's fiery because he's passionate and loving and very emotionally available. Having said that, he's learned how to contain those emotions. And then we have the Magician on top of this. So this energy coming in, I'm just getting this was of great value. This energy is the Magician. That's my energetic upgrade in my oracle. And that's saying that whatever happened here, although it may have felt like it was not beneficial, that once all the hidden information came out, it was like, oh, thank goodness that I didn't take action before this, and that I'm at peace with my decision now because of it. Yeah, and the Shooting Star, that's really interesting too, because that's a card of wishing also. And the Shooting Star is all about having a good attitude when it comes to these basic needs that you have. And also recognizing, what is the need and what is a want. Like, you can want something to work out. You can want to reconcile with someone. You can want all of that. But if it's not really there, then you're better off not knowing and having a good attitude going through it. And then we have Pride, which is another karmic space. And so quite often we'll try to convince ourselves, persuasion and perception. So it's really, this is sitting on the Queen of Swords right there with the disappointment and deciding to leave the 7 cups behind and go for the 8th, walk away from it and move forward, which requires sometimes putting your pride aside and just saying, it was not, this was an illusion that I'm now over, and I'm ready to move forward now in a new way. Yeah, and let go of the ego. So that's really good, being able to keep that energy in check. And when you do that, because I'm getting, like, especially if this is regarding a divorce between the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords, then they're the most, that quite often when, as I said, when they appear together, it is a separated or divorced couple. If you can keep your egos in check, you can come to agreement, and it'll benefit your family, and your children, if you have children, and both of your finances, everything would be better off if you're able to really contain that energy of ego and pride and just work things out to the best of your ability and coming to peace with it. So the father figures, this is another major accomplice that comes in. There's the usual suspects, which are karma and like there can be astrological elements, etc. But the father figures is when Prince Charming turns out not to be who he thought he was or who you thought he was. And if you're the Queen of Swords and he's the King of Swords, but neither of them really being able, like sometimes maybe the Queen of Swords turned the prince into a frog instead of, turning the frog into a prince. So this feels like an energy of someone that has, the father figures is someone that has authority, and they have more than just one person. It's not just, their decision isn't just going to impact them, it's going to impact possibly their family or their business or their business partner. Or, if you're a global leader, then it could, affect the entire country. So wanting to make a good, strong decision. And then, yes, we have falling star. And that is the heart chakra energy. And I feel like this card represents both the judgment card in my oracle, and it represents also like the cosmic, like on a personal level, what you want in your heart. But it also represents the cosmic heart, which is like the heartbeat of the planet and what's best for the planet. So it's a win for you, it's a win for your family, and it's a win for the universe. And then we have the Chariot. Yeah, I'm just getting that once this decision has been made, as it has, it's already in action. And it may take a little bit of time, like for the spin to really get moving, but it's this decision has been made. I'm getting that it's done, and it might take a few weeks for it to be apparent to everybody else, you know, around the world, if that's what it is, or in the, you know, in the larger family, or even for the, someone to come to resolution of this within themselves. So that was an interesting reading about the battle of wills within and without. I hope you enjoyed it. It was really interesting for me to, I haven't really seen the cards play out quite like this before. And I will come back tomorrow with another reading for you. Bye for now.